Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro received credential letters from ambassadors of Algeria, Iran and Haiti. The Union of Workers in the Agricultural Banana Industry and related companies of Panama started an indefinite strike in Bocas del Toro against the law of social security. In Turkey, Russian and Ukrainian delegations discussed terms of a ceasefire and a possible meeting between Presidents Putin and Zelensky. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro received Monday the credential letters from the new ambassadors of Haiti, Algeria and Iran. The new Haitian representative, Jean-Marie Vaval, holds a degree in social sciences and a master's degree in international economic relations. He also studied macroeconomics, world economy, Latin American economy, international finance, banking administration, and economic development. On the other hand, the new Algerian ambassador, Farouk Ben Mokhat, is trained in areas of international relations and politics, holds a master's degree in economic and social administration, and is fluent in several languages. On his part, the Iranian representative Ali Sheghini is a career diplomat with a bachelor's degree in economics from Imam Sadet University and a PhD in political science from the Supreme National Defense University. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro met with the Speaker of Iranian Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, on Monday as part of the Islamic leader's official visit to the Bolivarian nation. The meeting was held at Miraflores Palace and seeks to strengthen even more the strategic relations between both nations at the highest possible level. The relations between Caracas and Tehran were further consolidated after President Nicolás Maduro visited the Islamic country in June 2022 when a 20-year agreement was signed by the two nations. Venezuela and Iran play an important role in the current geopolitical situation and are key actors in the energy balance as OPEC founders. During the meeting, both leaders condemned the unilateral coercive measures imposed by Washington and called for a world of peace. Earlier in the day, the Speaker of the Iranian Parliament met with the Venezuelan President of the National Assembly, Jorge Rodriguez, who expressed his gratitude for the visit of the Iranian leader and his delegation, and remembered Commander Hugo Chávez's statement that Venezuela should open up to all the countries to build a multipolar world.
Nos sentimos profundamente agradecidos de la presencia aquí de
We feel deeply grateful for the presence here of His Excellency, the President of the Consultative Assembly of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and all the delegates, who have kindly come to the homeland of Simon Bolivar and Hugo Chavez. And I especially mention Commander Chavez because he was the promoter of the proposal that Venezuela should open up to all the countries for the construction of a multipolar world. A world without hegemons, a world without empires dictating on issues that should only concern each country, each state and each people.
The President of the Iranian Parliament also highlighted the victory of the Venezuelan people in the regional and legislative elections of 2025.
I would like to congratulate you, Your Excellency, also the people of Venezuela for the resounding victory in the recent elections of the National Assembly, governorships, and also legislative councils. I would also like to thank you and all the deputies of the National Assembly. I would also like to thank you as a brotherly and friendly country. May these recent victories bring a new change towards the well-being of the Venezuelan people, and I am very grateful that I have been able to travel to Venezuela just at the moment of this very important juncture in Venezuela, which is your victory in these elections.
The Union of Workers in the Agricultural Banana Industry and Related Companies of Panama started an indefinite strike in Bocas del Toro against the law on Social Security. The protest, which has been going on for more than a month, includes moving from a partial closure to a total blockade of the roads in that territory, which coincides with the third visit of a government commission that is attempting to suppress the crisis as part of the government's actions. The strike is in response to the position of President José Raúl Mulino, who is accused of acting in an intransigent and disrespectful way. In this regard, the union warned that the banana sector will keep the streets completely closed without any road access, emphasizing that there will be no passage while the strike continues. Argentine justice suspends a decree imposed by President Javier Milei, which limits the right to free protest. A judge of the Argentine Labor Court provisionally suspended the effects of Articles 2 and 3 of the Decree of Necessity and Urgency (DNU) against union mobilizations guaranteed by law in the Constitution. In the resolution, the judge reiterated the commitment of the Labor Justice to solve the injunction filed by the General Confederation of Labor. The authority also rejected the attempt of the executive power to move the case to the contentious administrative court. The government of Argentina is putting pressure on the lower house of deputies to prevent debate on salary increases for retirees. At this Wednesday's session, opposition lawmakers will seek to achieve a quorum to address issues that the Libertarian government has submitted, including aid to areas affected by flooding and the disability emergency. The cabinet authority confirmed that President Javier Milei will veto the initiatives, considering them to be a source of fiscal deficit. And now we have a short break coming up. First, remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. The Mexican National Electoral Institute reported that the estimated turnout in the election of judicial authorities was around 13%. The President Consular of the National Electoral Body, Guadalupe Tadei, announced on Sunday night that the estimated voter participation was calculated between 12.57 to 13.32%. She emphasized that this number was obtained from a random sample of 1,644 polling places throughout the country. In this way, Tadei pointed out that the results of the district votes would be issued in the following days. These elections constituted a non-precedented event, as citizens were summoned to the polls to elect 881 judicial positions at the federal level.
Based on a sample of randomly selected sectional polling places in front of notary publics, the results obtained by the specialists yielded an estimated citizen participation result of between 12.57 and 13.32% turnout.
In a message to the nation, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum described the day on which citizens were able to elect the judicial authorities for the first time as historic.
This historic election of the judiciary branch on June 1, 2025 was a success.
Cerca de 13 millones de mexicanas y mexicanos.
For the first time in history, nearly 13 million Mexicans came out to assert their right to decide who should be the new ministers, magistrates, and judges.
Likewise, Sheinbaum highlighted the transparency of the electoral process, which is set to democratize the judicial system.
Today, the election process was transparent. Candidates were selected by professional commissions from the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. The campaigns were simple, and voting was free. With the new judicial system, the jurista wish will become a reality. Nothing outside the law, no one above the law.
Por encima de la ley.
The Russian and Ukrainian delegations met again in Istanbul, Turkey, for the second round of direct peace talks amid tensions and attempts by Kiev to undermine the negotiations. The Russian delegations were led by Vladimir Medinsky, an advisor to the President Vladimir Putin, while the Ukrainian delegation was chaired by the country's Minister of Defense, Rustem Umerov. The meeting was moderated by Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, who visited both Russia and Ukraine last week to accelerate talks. In his opening remarks, Fidan thanked both parties for their constructive approach and also the U.S. government for opening a window of opportunity. After the meeting, the chief of the Russian delegation highlighted the immediate proposals Russia has brought to the table.
We have proposed a specific ceasefire for 2 to 3 days in certain areas of the front line. This will now be worked out by our military specialists and with the Ukrainians. We are unilaterally transferring to the Ukrainian side 6,000 frozen bodies of deceased Ukrainian soldiers and officers.
While leading the talks, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan stressed the importance of this step towards a lasting ceasefire.
İlk toplantıda alınan kararların hayata geçirilmesi için taraflar
The parties took very important steps to implement the decisions made in the first meeting. The exchange of 1,000 prisoners on each side was completed in a short time. Both sides determined their positions regarding the ceasefire and subsequent steps as promised. As agreed, they came together today to reciprocally address these positions and demonstrated their will to discuss them.
Bugünkü toplantımızda iki ülkenin ateşkese dair koşullarını ve perspektiflerini değerlendirmeye devam etmeyi hedefliyoruz.
In today's meeting, we aim to continue evaluating the conditions and perspectives of the ceasefire between the two countries. At the same time, we aim to take the process of exchanging war prisoners a step further with humanitarian considerations. We also plan to address the necessary preparations for the leaders' meeting. Regular meetings are considered valuable for establishing trust between the parties.
The European Union confirmed it is preparing countermeasures against the United States if the two sides cannot reach an understanding. The announcement comes after a surprise U.S. tariff on steel rattled global markets and hindered ongoing talks. Top officials at the European Union's Executive Commission said they are pushing hard for a trade deal with the Trump administration to avoid a 50% tariff on imported goods. Trump's announcement of increased tariffs on steel imports has rising concerns that big-ticket purchases from cars to washing machines to houses could see major prices increases.
In the event that our negotiations do not lead to a balanced outcome, the EU is prepared to impose countermeasures, including in response to this latest tariff increase. I remind you that we are currently finalising consultations for an expanded list of countermeasures. If no mutually acceptable solution is reached, both the existing and possible additional EU measures will automatically take effect on July 14th or earlier if circumstances require. The Commission has been clear at all times about its readiness to act in defence of EU interest, protecting our workers, consumers and industry.
We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to From the South. In Palestine, Israeli occupation forces have killed at least 52 people in different attacks on 8 distribution centers run by the US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. In 3 separate attacks that took place between May 27th and June 2nd, Israeli occupation forces targeted crowds of Palestinians, prompting outrage from the United Nations and international humanitarian groups. The Palestinian Health Ministry said that the Israeli army is using these distribution centers to carry out mass killings and to displace Gaza residents. For its part, the humanitarian organization Doctors Without Borders said that patients reported being shot at from all sides by drones, helicopters, boats, tanks, and Israeli soldiers.
My nephew went to buy his children food. He went to buy flour for his children. The Israeli army hit him and killed him. They just wanted to eat. They were starving and just wanted some bread. He went to get them bread and took a risk, and they killed him. They tell us there is aid and tell us to go and take the aid. So why do they kill them? Why? Shame on them. Find a solution. Put an end to this.
Sudan's recently appointed Prime Minister Kamel Tayeb Idris has announced the dissolution of the transnational government and has appointed the Secretaries General and Undersecretaries of the ministries to perform government functions. Tayeb Idris announced the dissolution of the government in a statement to the press. He did not indicate when the new government, the first since the outbreak of war between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces in April 2023, would be formed. The Sudanese government, which is controlled by Al-Burhan's military junta, has insisted that it is working on the transitional phase to hold democratic elections, draft a new constitution, and establish a civilian government that will take control of the country without interference from the army. The death toll in Nigeria has risen to over 200 due to heavy rains and flooding that have devastated the country in recent days. Authorities reported that at least 500 people are missing after the disaster, so they fear the death toll will continue to rise. In Mokwa, the city most affected by the rains, at least 3,000 people have been displaced as more than 250 homes were destroyed by the storm. It is expected that in the next few hours, work will begin to rescue the fatal victims who are under the rubble and to determine the exact number of deaths, in the worst disaster recorded in Nigeria in the last 60 years. Local authorities in the autonomous region of Xizang in southeastern China have reported 3 fatalities due to a landslide. The accident occurred on Sunday during the excavation of a mushroom known as soft and gold in Muchar village, Kamdo City, leaving 7 people missing and 2 injured. Almost 500 people, including rescuers, firefighters and search dogs, are involved in the search operation, which is supported by excavators and telecommunications equipment. The Water and Natural Resources Department has indicated that the landslide displaced approximately 200,000 cubic meters of mud and rocks and has warned of the possibility of secondary landslides. The Italian island of Sicily remains on alert following a new eruption of Mount Etna, Europe's most active volcano. The eruption has been characterized by intense explosions and lava flows. According to a report from the National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, part of the volcanic crater has collapsed and the resulting clouds are reaching a height of about 5 kilometers. The Volcano Observatory's aviation warning system has issued a red alert, the highest level, although the neighboring city of Catania's Vincenzo Bellini International Airport remains operational for the time being. The tremor's amplitude values are currently high and increasing, though they are confined to the volcano's summit, specifically the southeast crater area at an altitude of around 1,900 meters far from populated areas. And like this, we have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram and TikTok as well. For Telesur English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.